Jai Swaminarayan. Let's read the 22nd passage from the second Gadhadā. It's titled, Two Armies, the installation of Nar-Nārāyaṇ. Let's dive right into it. On Phagun Vadhi the 10th, Samvat 1878, or the 18th of March 1822, Shriji Maharaj awoke in the middle of the night and sat facing south on a large decorated cot in front of the mandir of Shri Vasudev Narayan in Dada Akshar Darbar in Gadhadā. He was dressed entirely in white clothes. At that time, he called all of the sadhus and devotees together, and so they gathered before him in an assembly. Addressing the sadhus, Shriji Maharaj said, I wish to talk, so please listen. When two armies are prepared for combat, and both have implanted their flags opposite each other, in their minds both feel, we will capture their flag and shall rise our own in its place. But they never think, along the way to the enemy's flag, many heads will roll and rivers of blood will flow. They are never afraid in this manner. This is because those who are brave are not afraid of dying. Coward, however, harbors thousands of thoughts of fleeing. They also think, if our army wins, we shall loot our opponents' wealth and weapons. The brave soldiers of both kings, however, are not afraid of dying, nor do they have greedy motives to loot. Instead, they only have one desire, to capture the opponent's flag and ensure their own victory. Now in this example, the flag represents the abode of God, and the brave soldiers of the kings represent the staunch devotees of God. Regardless of whether they encounter honors or insults in this world, regardless of whether they encounter bodily comforts or miseries, regardless of whether their bodies remain healthy or unhealthy, and regardless of whether their bodies survive or die, staunch devotees of God never harbor timid thoughts such as, we will suffer this much pain or we will enjoy this much happiness. Neither of these two types of thoughts arise within their minds. Such devotees firmly believe, we want to attain the abode of God within this very lifetime. We do not want to become enticed by anything along the way. On the other hand, a devotee of God who identifies themselves with the body is represented by the coward soldiers. While worshipping God, they harbor thousands of timid thoughts such as, if the religious vows become strict, I will not be able to survive. Only if they are easy to observe will I be able to survive. They also think, if I employ this method, I shall be happy even in worldly life. Also, if it is possible, I shall survive passively in the satsang fellowship. Such a devotee represents the coward. A staunch, brave devotee of God, however, never has any types of desires related to the body or the world. Having said this, Shriji Maharaj then began to narrate an experience of his own. When I went to Ahmedabad to perform the installation ceremony of Sri Nar-Nārāyaṇ Dev, thousands of people had gathered for the festival. Following the completion of the installation of Sri Nar-Nārāyaṇ Dev, and after thousands of Brahmins from Ahmedabad had been fed, I departed from there and spent the night in Jaitalpur. There I began to think, I want to forget all memories of all those people and all of the activities I saw. In doing this, my heart felt intense grief, and as a result, I became ill. From there, I then went to Dholka, where I spent the night. Then walking from Dholka, with the same thought in mind, I reached the forest of Ganesh Dholka, near the village of Kot, and spent the night there. I began to think so much that I forgot all about my body. while thinking I forgot all of the activities and dispelled all those thoughts in such a manner that it was as if I had not even stayed at Lake Kandakarya, and as if there had been no festival. No thoughts remained at all. After those worldly thoughts had subsided, I began to look within. I began to see transcendental wonders and also the pleasures of the devas. I began to see countless types of celestial vehicles, celestial maidens, clothes and ornaments, just as if I were seeing them here in Mrityalok, the earth plane. In my heart, however, I did not like anything except God. Moreover, just as the Panch Vishayas, the experiences of the five senses here appear to be insignificant to me, with my mind never being tempted in the same way. My mind was not tempted anywhere from Devalok all the way to Brahmalok. Seeing this, all of the devas began to praise me. You are truly an ekantik bhakta of God. After all, your mind did not forsake God and become tempted elsewhere. On hearing their words, my heart gained a lot of courage. I then took my mind. I know your true form. So look, if you harbor a thought about any object other than God, I will crush you to pieces. In the same way, I told my buddhi, my intellect, if you harbor any form of resolve other than that of God, then you will be in trouble. Similarly, I told my chitta, my faculty of memory, if you contemplate on anything other than God, I will also crush you to pieces. In the same way, I told my ahankar, my sense of self, my ego, if you harbor any form of conceit except that of servitude towards God, I will destroy you. Following this, just as I had totally forgotten all of the objects of this realm, I also totally forgot all of the objects of Devalok and Brahmalok, various heavenly realms. When all of those thoughts were dispelled, the illness that had arisen as a result of those thoughts also disappeared. Thus, one who is a devotee of God should behave in such a manner. In this way, Sriji Maharaj narrated his own experience for the sake of the liberation of his devotees, while in reality, he himself is the manifest form of Sri Krishna Purushottam Narayan. Sriji Maharaj then said, the Vasudev Mahatmya describes the dharma of an ekantik bhakta as follows. An ekantik bhakta does not believe their body to be their own true form. They believe themselves to be Chaitanya, pure awareness. They do bhakti, loving devotion of God, while observing dharma, jnana, and vairagya, dispassion towards material existence. Also, they maintain no desire for any object other than God. When they become such a sadhu, by worshipping God in this way, then there is no greater status than that of a sadhu. For example, in a kingdom, the queen's authority is equal to that of the king. In the same way, the sadhu possesses as much majesty as God. Therefore, a sadhu should not wish for the insignificant pleasures of worldly life. Why? Because when that sadhu attains the abode of God, then just as the lords of countless millions of Brahmans, universes, including Brahma, the creators, and other Ishvars, bring countless types of gifts and other articles for God, they also bring them for that sadhu. Moreover, by the grace of God, that sadhu acquires transcendental powers and strength. Keeping such a lofty thought in one's mind, one should not desire anything other than God. For example, a person who has obtained a chintamani should look after it with great care. This is because it will enable them to obtain any object they desire. Similarly, a devotee of God should hold on to the chintamani in the form of God's form. They should never forsake it. Only then will they attain everything. And that's the end of the 155th discourse from Sriji Maharaj in the Vachanamrut. I'm just quickly double checking what the meaning of Chintamani means. A wish-fulfilling jewel. Gotcha. Thank you very much for listening. And Jai Swaminarayan.